everybody, Tony D with your Hollywoke hot take. Little Jones asleep on her favorite couch because, I don't know, she got all squirmy. I think she's had enough of me. Hollywoke, so much going on today. David Mamet warns Americans are giving up their rights under beer virus lockdowns. We've forgotten the Constitution. Good for you, David. Good for you. Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright and Oscar-nominated screenwriter David Mamet is warning Americans that they are giving up their constitutional rights under the beer virus lockdown, saying that questioning government authorities needs to remain a vital part of the country's democratic tradition. Finally, somebody in Hollywood making sense. Yes, it does. But, you know, he's risking his career by doing this. Because they'll say, "Oh, David, you're so right wing." He's quoted as saying, "It just doesn't make any sense. It's the first time in history that an entire economy has been shut down because of an infection," he said during a Wednesday broadcast. And obviously, everyone gets to pick his or own experts and say whom they believe in. But that's what you're supposed to do with your health, right? We're supposed to make our own decisions about our health. Thank you. Mamet, author of The Diary of a Porn Star by Priscilla Riston Ranger, as told to David Mamet with afterword by Mr. Mamet, said feminists have long argued that women have the right to make choices about their bodies. Quote, "Now that can be argued either way, just as the virus can be argued either way. But the argument and terms under which we undertake it are the essence of American democracy." Thank you, David. You have restored my faith in your vulgar-laden cursing that you put in all your wonderful work. God, I'm so happy. I'm so happy when someone I admire, whose work I admire, says stuff like this, because, you know, I can't tell you how disappointing it was to find out, you know, Seth MacFarlane is just so left, so sadly left. He seems so smart, and yet he's so left, in my view. But you can be left and be smart, but, you know, some people, they're just too willing to be that partisan. I'm not. I'm really not. You know, you say, "Oh, you cheerleader for Trump." I like Trump. I don't apologize for it, but I didn't vote for Trump because he's a Republican. I voted for Trump. I didn't vote for Trump the first time. He won me over with his results. And he deserved my vote, in my view. But other people, they don't have your best interest in mind. The elites get to go out. Here's Rhode Island's Democratic governor photographed at a wine bar after telling residents to stay home. "Oh, I don't see a mask on you, Governor." Lady Governor Gina Raimondo. Ooh, ruining the Raimondo name. Is facing backlash for a photo of her at a wine and paint night, after urging residents to avoid non-essential activities. Well, that's essential to her. See, what's essential is in the eyes of the beholder. You know what's essential to me? Iced tea. If I don't have my iced tea, someone is going to pay. I went out and I got my tea. I ran out of tea bags unexpectedly. I don't know what happened. I miscalculated. I thought I had another box. Man, I was sweating it. I was like, "Oh my God, I will have to go to the backups." And I had backups. I always have backups, but you know, they're my backups. I keep the teas I tried but didn't really like enough to finish them. So I got a bunch of teas I kind of tolerate but I don't like. But anyhow, that's essential to me. If they put on the list, well, you could buy essential food, but you can't buy tea. Oh, no. No. I will stand up for my constitutional right when it comes to tea. I'll die. I'll die without that tea. But Gina's just like everybody else. Rules for thee, but not for me. Recall her immediately, Rhode Island, if you have the ability. I hope you do. I had the story up twice. But sadly, out in Hollywood, not everybody is so clear-minded. Kareem AbdulJabbar demands social media giants censor conservative celebrities and non-woke liberal stars. Why? Why, Kareem? In an essay for The Hollywood Reporter, Kareem AbdulJabbar singled out conservative Hollywood stars Jon Voight and James Woods. He also targeted liberal celebrities who refused to submit to woke ideology, including Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling, who has advocated for recognizing the difference between biological and transgender women. Not in my view, not a controversial subject. Quote, social media companies have begun slapping warnings on some messages that are false, incite violence, or cause harm to society, but this needs to be done with more consistency and vigilance. Abdul-Jabbar wrote. It's not an accurate statement, I don't think. They've been slapping warnings on Trump. His messages are his opinion. You could argue maybe some of the information he's saying is false, but it's a weak argument. Most of it's just his opinion. Incite violence, that's already illegal. You're not allowed to do that. They take down those posts. They don't slap a warning on them. They take them down. They take your whole they'll take your whole account down if you attempt to incite violence. See what he's doing, or cause harm to society, whatever that means. See, he's trying to move the goalpost. He's going to say that, well, you can incite violence by saying not just X, Y, Z, the things most people would be like, yeah, that seems like it would incite violence. Like, if somebody said something very specific about getting a weapon and causing harm to people, that would be a specific thing. And you would say, yeah, that's inciting violence. But, somebody saying, well, I don't like the Democrats, that's not inciting violence. Many Americans abuse Starr with political and social intelligence they just don't have, he continues to say. It doesn't help to be surrounded by fawning people whose job it is to agree with everything you say. The irresponsibility of tweeting irrational and harmful opinions to millions, regardless of the damaging consequences to their country or people's lives, proves that those stars deserve a harsh backlash. Well, they get it from people, individuals, not from government, not from the platform. Go to Mastodon, Kareem. There's a platform called Mastodon. It's heavily censored and heavily left. Will Wheaton, who's left of left, got kicked off. Read about his experience, and you'll see what censorship gets you. It gets you a terrible platform with people who are in a total echo chamber. Again, disappointing, Kareem. Very disappointing. I liked it better when you were in Conan. You didn't talk much in Conan. But here's a guy who talks a lot as well. Tom Cruise's second tirade on Mission Impossible 7 set causes 5 crew members to quit. Did they quit? I don't know. Maybe he let them quit. But look, if you're working together with people, man, you don't have to social distance. You might have to stay in every night. And look, I've worked on movies. Don't exactly have a lot of time for social interaction if you're working nonstop to finish a movie on a deadline. It's not supposed to be like, well, 9 to 5. Okay, everybody, see you tomorrow. You have grueling shoots that are very early and last long into the night, and people are like burned out beyond belief. Happens all the time. Trying to get a shot, trying to do a shot in a particular time of day. So, Cruise, he's just trying to save the movie industry, I guess. But man, you got to listen to that recording of Cruise yelling. And apparently the pressure is getting to him. They've gone through incredible lengths to shoot this damn movie under these ridiculous conditions. Here he is wearing the mask. You know, it's a shame. It's a shame they can't just shoot the damn movie. But, I mean, I understand his fear. You know, he's got a lot of people. He doesn't want to see, you know, he doesn't want the bad press. He doesn't want to see people hurt. But finally, George Clooney calls on the federal government to subsidize movie theaters after they were crippled by the pandemic in a powerful essay about the film industry. You know what would be a powerful move, George? If you spent your own damn money. George Clooney's net worth is astronomical. Net worth, George Clooney. So the celebrity net worth. Amal Clooney won't get husband George's $500 million fortune when he dies. There it is right there in the Daily Express. But let's see what celebrity net worth says. Oh, it says $500 million. That sounds about right. Yeah, he invested in that tequila and sold it off. Sold the whole company, I think, for like $100 million, something like that. So you're worth $500 million, George. $500 million. How much movie theater chain price? Let's see if there's a price. Nah, doesn't tell you. I would love to know how much it would cost to buy a movie theater chain. I bet it's not $500 million. I bet it's a lot cheaper right now. I bet George could fund it. I bet George could bail him out. Or at least some of the chains. But you want to call on the federal government to provide aid to the struggling industry to keep it afloat? Why don't you do it? It's your industry. You're in it. Just buy them out. I'm sure they'll sell out to you in a heartbeat. Oh, you don't want to lose any money. That's a poor investment, isn't it? It's a poor investment. What you need to do is get Gavin Newsom off his butt and get him to open the damn state up so you could shoot movies and show them again. It's ridiculous, this lockdown. And opening the theaters here isn't even going to help you all that much. Not for a while. Not for a while. Because let me tell you something. People are pissed at celebrities. They're pissed off. You're going to have to do a song and dance. The song and dance you're going to have to do to get people back into the theaters, even if they open. I can't wait to see it, George. I can't wait to see it. Oh, you know, we're sorry we called you a bunch of redneck idiots for voting for Trump. Okay. I'm very willing to boycott lots of celebrities. Saves me money. I don't have to see movies. There's plenty of places to see them for free, if you know what I mean. Or I just wait, because eventually they end up on services that I'm either purchasing or have access to through other people, and I can see them for nothing or next to nothing. So why should I go to the movie theater? The experience is terrible. They show me commercials ahead of the movie. The food's expensive. Now we have the beer virus to contend with. So the whole movie theater experience had been going downhill for a long time. You could liven it up, though, with your money and your tequila. But I know you got supermodels to shag. I mean, look, here's Regal. You know, they should reopen, but Democrats won't let them reopen, George. What do you want from me? This looks like a movie you're in. What is this? Oh, this is Midnight Sky. You with a beard. It's also an ad for Midnight Sky, of course. Clooney's own film, Midnight Sky, was released in a small number of theaters earlier in December, but will debut wide via streaming later this month due to the pandemic. Yeah, I think it's stupid, George. I think the whole pandemic lockdown is stupid. But you're not going to get anywhere begging the federal government for money. Although you might under a Biden administration. I mean, he might throw you a bone because you guys all helped him out. So maybe one hand washes the other and he bails out the movie theater industry with our tax dollars that we don't have while we're all going broke. So sure, why not? Why not just run it up? Why not bail out the popcorn industry while you're at it? Why not bail out everybody? Oh, but you get to keep your $500 million. You get to live a life that I can barely imagine. Jumping from one thing to the next with personal assistants and an entire staff that waits on you hand and foot. $500 million, you can't throw $100 million at one of these chains and just buy it. Just buy it. Just buy it and give it to some of your guys. Say, here, run this thing. You could open in the red states. They're open. From Florida. Buy a chain in Florida. Or better yet, why don't you use your $500 million to tell Gavin Newsom, hey, if you don't open the theaters around here, I'm going to run against you in the next election. And I'm going to win because I'm George Clooney. And no one's going to vote for you. And I'm way better looking than you. I got to be honest. Clooney. Women will literally trip over themselves trying to vote for Clooney and not Gavin Newsom. He could win in a landslide. Now, I wouldn't agree with his politics, but he certainly could open the movie theaters. He'd probably be no different than Gavin Newsom, except that he would open the state, or at least the movie theaters. It'd be a step in the right direction. Currently, anybody would be better than Gavin Newsom. Literally anyone. Same thing with all the other Democratic governors you have. Literally anyone would be better than them. So that's what I think you should do with your $500 million, George, instead of begging the federal government. Really? You're a millionaire. It's not a good look.